Purchase your tracks today.
I got the burner on me.
What up, guys? What up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Average Man Podcast. I am your man, Ace Deuce. This is episode 2 of the Average Man Podcast. Today's topic is going to be about domestic violence protection order falsely filed against you. How you can handle that, how you can deal with it, and how you can come out on top of it. I'm only going to give you guys off of my experience and my opinion of how to handle it because I had something like that similar filed against me not too long ago, earlier this year, and I had to take certain routes in order to do it. So let's start off with how I found out that I had a domestic violence protection order against me. There was a Sunday that I take my son to watch football games. We are Buffalo Bills fans, and that is what it is. That's where I'm from. That's my city. I love my team. So I typically get my son on Sunday nights or Sunday to take him to watch a football game, and that's the Buffalo Bills. We normally go to a restaurant and watch it. So on this particular day, it was a Monday night. And so I came and picked my son up to take him to go and watch the football game like we always do. Get some wings, get some sweet tea, and enjoy the company of others and watch the game. I had some things stored at my estranged wife's house. I had some rims over there, and that day I happened to go over there and I didn't see them there. They were gone. Didn't know where they were. So I told my son to let his mother know that, what happened to him. She came up with an excuse saying that I had somebody come over there and get them when I would never have anybody go over there to pick them up unless I let her know somebody's coming over there for something. So I know that didn't happen. And so when she came back with that excuse, I said, hey, well, listen, you got 2 weeks to either give me $1,500, which is for the rims and the tires, because I just put brand new tires on it, or I'm taking the car, which is still in my name, that I wanted to get out of my name a year before that, but she failed to come with me to the DMV to take care of that. So this is where we are. So I told her she had 2 weeks to either pay me back $1,500 or I'm taking the car. And that was said before we left to go to the football game. So I chalk it up and just say, hey, son, we're going to go to the football game and we're going to have a good time. And, I'll deal with that later. I'll figure that out later. So we watch the football game, and I bring him back to the house. I drop him off, and she comes out screaming and yelling at me, telling me that, you're not going to tell me what to do. I don't know what the bleep happened to your rims, and I don't care about it. The best I could do is a police report. So I'm like, a police report ain't gonna do nothing. That ain't doing nothing but just covering your tail, so you don't have to be responsible for it. But on the other hand, you are responsible for it because it was stored at your location where you live at your residence. So you are held liable for anything that's at your residence that has been taken from it. So we get into a little fussing match, a little arguing match. She's screaming at me, I'm screaming at her. I'm telling her I'm taking the car, and it's just gonna be that. I'm not finna go through this with you. I'm not dealing with you on this. I've cut off all communication as it is anyway. I really didn't want to communicate with you, but this is what happened. So a little bickering goes back and forth, a little argument goes back and forth. So I had the keys in my hand, and I'm looking at the keys as if I want to give them back to her. But everything in me was like, yo, just get on your bike and get up out of there. So I got on my bike and I left. I got up out of there and I still had the keys in my hand. I had every intentions on bringing the keys back to her the next morning so she can have them. But I just knew in that instance, I needed to remove myself from what was happening right there. Now, mind you, all of this is on camera, in which she has a camera on her garage, right? So all of this is on camera. There's no hands put on each other. There's none of that happening, right? So fast forward a few weeks later, I get a letter in the mail saying that my concealed carry permit has been suspended due to a domestic violence protection order placed against me. I get no notification. I get nobody coming by the house knocking on the door saying, hey, here, you've been served. You got to go to court because this has been placed against you and you need to go answer for it. So none of that happens at all whatsoever. And the only way that I found out is because of that letter in the mail. Rewind a little bit. I did file a suit against her for $1,500 for stolen rims. I did file that. So let's fast forward again. So I get to the court date to go in front of the judge to discuss about what happened with the rims and where they are and what would I like compensated for. Would it be the $1,500 or the car? I get there and me not knowing anything about this because I've never been through this before. I'm somebody who's completely lost with this, right? I've never been through this at all whatsoever. So I think I'm filing it in the right court, which is a civil suit court, right? File it there. The judge say, "Hey, you guys are still married," and we're like, "Yes." And so it got dismissed without prejudice there to go down to family court. So after it's dismissed, I get a piece of paper saying that I missed the court date for this and it's been extended to another court date. So while it's been extended to another court date, I can't see my son. The protection order is still in place. What she did dirty was is that she put my son on the paper and she put his school address on the paper, which means I can't go see my son and I can't contact my son at all whatsoever until after the court date. Now, mind you, my son knows nothing about this. So now I'm pretty sure in his head, he's like, why isn't dad texting me? Why isn't dad calling me? Why isn't dad coming to pick me up to take me to things that he normally take me to? That's because I can't. His mother put him on the paper, and that was her way of hurting me to keep me also away from getting the car. Now, when I say I was going to get the car, I was going to go through the legal system to get the car because it's in my name. So I would rather them be there with me to remove the car out of her possession so that way I can get it back. Now, mind you, there is no car insurance on there because I stopped paying car insurance on it, and it's not registered. So it's been unregistered for quite some time. And the reason why I did this is because my daughter and my son comes to tell me that she has been dealing with somebody else, which I do not care. I do not care, and I've told her this time and time again. I do not care who you deal with. Just keep those men away from my son because I'm not an absent father. I am an active father, and I'm in my son's life. So she failed to do that. She didn't want to do that, right? She wanted to do her sneaky stuff and just do that, which I don't care. So it's really not sneaky to me because I don't care. So after I find out that I can't see my son or have contact with my son until the next court date, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I've never been through this, so I really don't know where to go. My heart and soul has been snatched from me because that's who I live for and that's who I work for, which is my son. My daughter, she's 21, so I did everything I could for her, but I'm still in her life as well. But my son is the main focus. He's 10 years old. He needs a man in his life, a male figure in his life to help him get through the process and the struggles of growing up as a young man, especially a young black man, without the father in the house. So I wanted to make sure that my presence was well known with him and that he knows that dad loves him and dad is going to be there for him. Dad is going to teach him what he needs to know about being a man, all of those, ins and outs. So during this time, it's really driving me crazy. I'm going nuts because I can't see my son. I can't do anything. And there's events that I got going on and things that I'm doing and I would like to take him to that he always goes to, but I can't. Right. So I get on the phone with my mom. She talks to me. She tells me some things and she said, "Hey, get a lawyer." So I get a lawyer because I know I didn't put my hands on anybody and I, never done that. So I don't have a criminal background or criminal history of any type of domestic violence. So I'm kind of lost as to why this was put in place and why this was put on me. So I get a lawyer. We sit down and talk. She asks me questions. I answer the questions the best of my ability. She goes on my Facebook page. She looks on my Facebook page and she sees that I do nothing but show admiration and love for my son. That I'm a father, and that's what I do. I don't do anything else on there, but just post pictures and events that me and my son go to. Right. So she's trying to get an understanding of why this is put in place. So she asks me, and I tell her same story I just told you guys. So with that being said, my lawyer says she's going to reach out to her, see if she can get this dismissed because she don't believe there's a case there. There's nothing there. But in that paperwork, she tries to paint a picture as me being like this out of control rage type person, which is nothing but arguments that married people have throughout the course of their relationship. No one's going to have a perfect relationship or a perfect marriage to where there's no argument at all. You're going to have those things. You're going to have the things where you're upset with her. You don't want to deal with her. You don't want to be in her vicinity, and vice versa. The same thing goes for her. So she documents all that stuff in there. She also puts in there that she has video footage. And the video footage that I'm thinking about that she has is the video footage that she recorded of me throwing a glass bottle in her garage and putting a hole in her garage because she told me she's going to have as many men around my son as she can. Come on now, YouTube. Come on, chat. Y'all tell me, is that something reasonable that a woman is supposed to tell the father of her children that she's going to have many men around him as possible because she's upset with him? Like, that doesn't make sense. That's causing a toxic situation that could possibly end up in somebody getting hurt or somebody being unalived. And that's not the type of environment that I wanted to be in any longer. And that's not the type of environment that my son or children should be involved in, because you don't know how to compose yourself and hold your anger, right? So she asked me about that, and I told her there's nothing on the footage. And she was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "I'm positive. There's nothing on there showing me put my hands on anybody. We don't even have reports of police being called coming out to our residence for any type of domestic stuff, because that's not me and that's not what I do." So none of this is making sense, and it's putting me into a box in which I have to fight to get out of. And so instead of calling her up on the phone, cussing her out, instead of trying to contact her when I know there's a protection order against me, at that point, I decided that all communication at this point is going to be cut off. There's not going to be any text messages. There's not going to be any emails. There's not going to be any phone calls. So the only way that you would hear something from me would be through the kids relayed to you. And it will only be about the kids. It won't be about nothing else. It won't be about how you're doing. It won't be about how your mother's doing. It won't be about any of that stuff. Because at this point, what you have done is that you try to defame who I was as a man, all because you're upset because I'm holding you accountable to something that you allowed to happen, right? And it didn't dawn on me until after that situation that all of the things that I hear or what all of these other male space YouTubers and people talk about is that women are kryptonite is the accountability towards women. And I was holding her accountable for her actions. And what I get in return is false allegations put against me, saying that I am a violent person and I put my hands on people, when that's so not the case. I'd rather walk away and have you arguing with yourself than for me to stand there and keep arguing with you for it to escalate to you disrespecting my manhood or you trying to put your hands on me and now I have to defend myself. So I would rather remove myself from that situation. And I'm going to tell you guys this: if there's anything that comes up that puts you in a situation like that, the best thing you can do is remove yourself. Because if there's no evidence to gather and there's no information to gather within that time saying you did this and did that, how are they going to present their case to the judge with evidence if there's none to give? You get what I'm saying? And I understand that it may be hard. Some guys think with their bottom head and not their top head. So they always like, well, it'd be easy to go back and lay down with her than it is to find another one to lay down. So let me keep having sex with them. That's number two. Do not go back and continue having sex with someone that you are separated from and you guys are no longer together with. For us as a man, having sex is just something to do. Well, I ain't gonna say something to do. That's where we get our, so to speak, jollies off. You know what I'm saying? And don't really have an attachment to it. But for someone who loves you and someone who's a woman, right? It's emotional for them, for you to lay down and continue to have sex with them. Because in their head, they're thinking that this is the first step on getting back together because I'm intimate again with him. And we always been intimate. So there should be nothing different regardless of us separating. So you have to remove yourself from that as well. No matter how hard it is, man, go find you another one, man. Go find you somebody else to lay down with. Find you somebody else to help you get that post-nut clarity. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it with the one who is putting you through something or is trying to take you to court to handle something, because then they can use that as you being the one who's always coming back and misleading. And what we don't want to do in that situation is mislead, right? Not at all. So getting back to it, I cut off all communication. Cut it off, right? We get to the court date and she wants to dismiss the case because she simply says that my son is suffering and he needs his father in his life. Well, who did it? Who took him out? You did. You removed me from my son because you were upset because I was holding you accountable for something that you did. So now, not only are you trying to make me suffer, you're also making my son suffer for something he doesn't need to suffer for. And I can tell you this, women will do that. That is their last resort. That is their thing to do to try to hurt you the most because they're hurt, right? So in any of those instances, you have to be strong willed, which means you have to make sure that you stick by your guns and stand 10 toes down on the decision that you make to cut all communication off and not deal with that person. Because the more ammunition that you give a gun, the more bullets that gun can shoot out. So why would I add more ammunition to it when I know that that thing is being used to hurt me, right? So I'm not going to do that. Removed all of that. And I suggest that's what you do. If you can't, then I suggest you find a homeboy who's been through that situation to talk to you, give you that information so you can understand what it means to cut the communication off. And that's in your best interest. And your other best interest is if you're going to get a lawyer, by me being a black male and I have a black wife, then you need to get you a black woman who is a lawyer for family law because she's going to be the one that's going to be able to look through the BS, right? That your estranged wife or other significant other is trying to lay out to you, right? The only one who can defeat a woman is another woman, right? Cool, right? So I did that, right? So the case gets dismissed, right? And after the case gets dismissed, I tried to come up with a plan for me to continue to see my son, right? Came up with a document that both of us needed to sign to where say I get my son on every weekend and I also get him on all holidays and also get him throughout the summer, right? She didn't want to sign that either. She didn't want to sign none of that paperwork. So here we are, right? So I'm no longer, excuse me, I'm no longer underneath that. I haven't been charged with anything. I haven't been convicted of anything. There's no police records for me of me being arrested or any police records of me being talked to about the situation at all whatsoever. So that's how I got over the domestic violence protection order, right? That's how I was able to get that not even seen in front of a judge and get it wiped away by removing myself from it, not having contact with that individual, not going against the domestic violence protection order, as well, making sure I did everything I was supposed to do and stay in line with. So that way, when I got in front of the judge, it was up to them to prove that I committed this domestic violence. You don't have any bruises, you don't have anything, right? So that's how I was able to get over it. But the steps of getting over it is like I said, is one, remove yourself from it, right? Two, cut off all communication. Three, refrain yourself from trying to go lay down with this woman and have sex with her because it's not going to do anything but worsen. I don't even know if that's a word. I don't think it's a word, but I'm, I'm using it. It's the only thing it can do is make your situation worse, right? And what you don't want to do is make your situation worse, which is going to force your lawyer to work even harder in order to get this either expunged, removed, or dismissed from you, right? So that's what I did. And I suggest that's what you guys do. If you can't do it, then like I said, you need to find a older friend, preferably a man, and you need to talk to them about it and see what they say. Get the information from them, get the knowledge from them, learn from their mistakes, so that way you don't have to make those mistakes. And that's exactly what I did. I had a friend who been through this situation before, but not domestic violence, but been through a divorce situation before. And I needed to get some clarity on some things and talk to him to make sure what I was doing was the right thing to do, right? And that's what I did. So those were the steps that I take. If you guys got any questions in the comment section, please let me know what those questions are. I'll try to answer them as much as I possibly can. I'll try to be straightforward as I can with this stuff, right? And, vice versa for the women too. This isn't just information or knowledge for the man, but this is also information on the woman's side too. You may have a guy who wants to do all of that domestic violence stuff against you, which may not be real and it may not be true. So, those are the kind of steps that you want to take to make sure that when you do go in front of a judge or get the opportunity to defend yourself, that you have all of your evidence and you have everything that you need and you're in the best situation possible to win or to have an upper hand in that situation, which will ultimately put you in a better situation, right? So that's what you want to do. Leave a comment down there. Let's talk about it. If you guys got any stories or you guys got anything about that you would like to share, please share it in the comments, and we'll talk about it. This has been second episode of the podcast. Like I said, I'll eventually have some guests on here, but I appreciate you guys for checking in. So please click that like button, subscribe, and let's get this channel up. You know what I'm saying? For more content, if that's what you want to see, please hit the like and subscribe. And, I'm your boy Ace Deuce. This has been episode 2 of the Average Man Podcast, and I am gone.
Purchase your tracks today.
I got the burner on me.